Cheers, cheers, cheers. I'm proud of myself for making it on time, and welcome to the Katie's Arms. So the Katie's Arms are an online pub where anything goes. You can say what the hell you want. Hello. To all, oh golly, there's so many of you. I so appreciate everybody turning up. I don't know quite how you do it or why. I'm hoping that over the side of this, you're kind of watching other things that you want to watch. Like, I don't know, football. And I think Kirsty what's she called? Kirsty Allsop. Her Christmas programme starts tonight now at 8 o'clock. So I know there's a whole bunch of other things. So what am I doing? I'm being British and apologising for taking up your time. But I hope you guys are okay. It's tough, isn't it? I feel like I always say to audiences wherever, our side, and by that I mean the side that just wants everyone to be okay. Please keep going, keep going. I'm going. It's okay. I'm not stopping. I'm not quitting. This isn't the I Quit interview / Katie's Arms. We're keeping going, and we're going to keep going right through this winter and then next year, and we're going to keep going right until, well, I don't know, right until whenever. We will always be fighting uphill. And by that I don't literally mean fighting, although I'm very willing to, and in fact would enjoy it. I just mean, bloody hell, guys. What a shit bag we're up against, aren't we? Aren't we? This is the Queen's Speech. We must do an alternative but respectful Queen's Speech on Christmas Day. So not to clash with the King's Speech, because of course that's very important. But we must think about doing a Queen's Speech on Christmas Day, mustn't we? So that we can keep that going. But I tell you, we're bloody up against it. It's, what is it now? -5. It's black continually out there. And I don't mean that in a racist setting or a racist way. I just mean it's perpetually black from dawn till dusk. Does that make sense? Dawn till dusk is back. Oh, well, anyway, December the 21st is the longest day. It's when the turn happens. I celebrate this day because it's when the days start to get lighter. So December the 21st is what we're hanging on for. Bloody cold. No one can turn on their heats or their lights or use a bloody... We've got people telling us, Martin Lewis, I wish you would stop this. I love that he fought for people. I love that he was outraged about the energy prices. But something happened to Martin Lewis. And instead of ranting it's 52 degrees in NYC. Ooh. Instead of ranting at the government, which he used to do, and I thought he was going to be a great ally, he's now giving us tips on how we can dry our washing more cheaply with a gadget that only costs 7p an hour to run. Fine, but you have to buy the pissing gadget, don't you? And I'm not liking anything that's to do with, oh, look, you can eat this one crust of bread, or you could eat this one crust of bread, and this will get you through it. Bullshit. This should not be happening to people who work so bloody hard. And one of the things I hear the most as I go about the place, whether it's my butcher, I don't mean my butcher. I haven't got a man specifically in my garage that slaughters meats to feed my family. But my butcher, I call him that because I love him. And I take him beers, and in exchange he gives me dog bones. Anyway, he says it, so many people say it, which is they're trying their bloody best. Put the wine down. I have only just started. Although, I have to say, this looks like this, but I honestly have only just started tonight. This was from yesterday, yes. And also I need to drink to get through this. I don't care. The recycling guys on this hill know that there's some issues. They do. And I don't give a shit either, actually, because life is tough and I'm not going to get through it without some anaesthetic. None of us are we? Exactly. Let me drink. Exactly. That's what they say to terminally. That's why one day when the terminal diagnosis comes, I'm like, all right. Because for me, that will just mean that's the ultimate permission slip, isn't it? So don't see a terminal diagnosis as an ending. See it as an opening, but like a massive opening. A terminal diagnosis, and no offence to anyone who's got one, but a terminal diagnosis really is the ultimate yes. Yes, drink yourself to death. Because if cancer's going to get you, may as well go the other way. Smoke yourself stupid. So, lots of things I should be talking to you about. And, oh yes, sorry, did I finish the butcher story? No. Well done. Who was that? Pivot Firearms. I know who that is. So, the butcher story is that people feel like they're so up against it. They are, so as my butcher says to me, he's done the right thing all his life, right? I mean, I think he's done some dark things too. He has that way, which I'm hoping that's true. But he means that he goes to work, he pays his way, he pays his taxes, he tries to pay his mortgage on time, he pays his bills on time, he tries to put his own litter in the bin, he tries to make sure people do what they're supposed to do, he tries. And yet the people he knows who aren't trying or don't give a shit or are at home living with the mother even though they're 50 seem to just be taking handouts left, right and Chelsea. Oh, here's your winter fuel, here's your benefits, the reward for people who are doing piss all seems very high at the moment. The other thing is no bastard wants to work. And for someone that comes from many of us, yes, who's my butcher? You can't have him. I love him. He has these big, manly things like cleavers. And when he really goes for it, on a side of beef, it's very exciting. There's people that I imagine when he's doing that to the carcass. I don't want to go all, what's he called? The mass murderer. But that whole, maybe I should become a butcher. Anyway, and there's also people who don't freaking want to work. So lovely Mark and my son, who's also lovely Mark's son, it can't be said for all my children, many men, I've sent them away on a boys' weekend. I make that sound very sort of splendid. They got in a car and drove to Watford. But literally, when I was in America for like 2.5 months, and I was slightly overwhelmed with guilt about the fact that I do piss all from a sort of wife or mothering point of view for quite a bit of the year, I bought them a boys' weekend, which is essentially Premier Inn. I know, nothing but generous. Sweeney Hopkins. Oh. So they are currently in, probably shouldn't give this away because it's actually a bit of a security risk. But anyway, they're in Watford on a boys' weekend. Get this is where I am a proper good wife. Tonight, pub, watching football. Tomorrow, skiing, indoor ski centre. Son, snowboarding, husband who's really good at skiing. Yeah. Even though he's lovely Mark and comes from the rough end of the road and his school burnt down and most of his schoolmates are in prison, lovely Mark can ski like a friggin' ballerina. Skiing. Then, what else karting. Thank you. And then an actual football match. They support the Glory Hornet Boys. I'm hoping none of you support the Glory Hornet Boys, Watford. If you do, my husband's there tomorrow. You'll see him. Mark, lovely little Max, who's now 6 foot. And what next? Oh, yes, watching the England game. Or is that Saturday night? Whatever. Perfect boys weekend. So they're doing that in the Premier Inn. Can't quite remember the point of this story, but there definitely was one. Don't know. Yes, young people not wanting to work. And he is in the Premier Inn. This is where the story was going. And the bar at the Premier Inn is not open. So Premier Inn, basic level hotel, but actually quite expensive these days, which takes the piss. The bar at the Premier Inn is not, I've said it once, but I'm just saying it again. It's unfeasible that a bar in an average hotel / basement hotel isn't open and they're not serving food because they can't get the staff. What are people doing? Where are the staff? How are people not working? My daughter has signed up with an agency who does work. They are paying £25 an hour to clean. I am signing up. 6 a.m. perfect time till 8 a.m. and you get 50 quid for doing 2 hours of just like pushing a Hoover around. Why am I taking care of my own home when I could be raking it in, pushing a Hoover around a conference room? That is my question. Anyway, people need to bloody work, and why aren't they? And my butcher is very, very exciting. If he's watching this, I'll be mortified. Oh, right. Things I have to tell you. Hello. Yes, exactly. Which agency is that? Copy me in. Darling, I know. Don't forget to thank them. Oh, so somebody bought badges. So and Instagram says I have to thank you. I hate being told what to do, especially by a fucking social media program. Fuck off, Instagram. But thank you for buying a badge. Bloody Instagram, dickheads. Instagram tried to. So I did a Meghan Markle, I just don't know why people were picking on that poor girl. I mean, no one understands how hard it is for her, and really, really sarcastic. And some little twat out there, so they report all of my stuff, right, to get it demonetized or to get it restricted views, whatever. So it got demonetized, it got restricted views so that people wouldn't be able to see it, it wouldn't be shared. Because some twat is just, that's my life still. So I go on and I appeal that, because if you listen to just the audio, it's basically this woman being so supportive of Meghan Markle, and why don't people leave her alone, and that poor lady, and blah, blah, blah. And so they reinstated it. That's the genius of what we're trying to achieve with comedy, my people, is getting away with shit. Can I just point out, that isn't my arse creaking. Oh, this is the best story. Yes, can we take a moment and salute Vlad? Absolutely. Vladimir Putin, I adore. So the Merchant of Death. Can we just say the best story in the whole world? American, what do you call them? Basketball player goes over to Russia, twat, and smoked cannabis oil, or has cannabis oil in her bag. Undoubtedly there was marijuana involved and she probably smoked it, but whatever, it doesn't matter. There was cannabis oil in her bag, got arrested, was being put in the gulags, blah, 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 right? You'll have heard the story. So then they do a prisoner swap to get her back. I don't want to say that, she's a lady of colour and that's why it became very important, because otherwise it looks like a racist incident, but she's a lady of colour in a gulag. So Biden comes up with a prisoner swap. I mean, it's hardly the bloody Bridge of Spies, this. And instead of like, oh, right, so you've got a basketball player who's 6'3", a lady of colour, and she maybe had some cannabis oil or smoked some hash. I mean, whatever. In your gulag, fine. We'll swap her out. So it'd be like, oh, look, we've got this aged old Russian twat. What did he do? Oh, he... blah, blah, blah. He brought over some paperwork he's not allowed to have. So, something that equates, right? Oh, no. In exchange for a cannabis oiling... did she put it on her boobs? Let's just go with it. Oh, by the way, look. Super, right? Do your thing. I just flash my tits, basically, when someone tells me what to do. And I just try and cover my mouth so I don't say anything. In exchange for a sort of fairly useless athlete, sort of puts a ball in a hoop. Ooh, it's quite a lot of hair now. He released The Merchant of Death. The Merchant of Death. One of the biggest arms dealers in Ruski. So in exchange for shitty basketball, I mean, she's probably quite good, but what do I know? I don't give a shit. Balls, hoops... in exchange for her, he released The Merchant of Death. So Biden, isn't it? Right, so we need some headlines that I got back the lady of colour, stuck in a gulag. Who should we release? One of the most dangerous Russians on the face of the planet. Good idea. I'm thrilled, frankly, because anything Putin does, frankly, I'm completely in support of. If only all of our leaders could be quite so manly, that would be great. And I noticed that my neighbours down the road who had the Ukrainians in have got rid of them now, unsurprisingly. And the other people who had the Ukrainians, next to my mum and dad, and were trying to persuade my own father that he should be having Ukrainians. They, let me tell you, have split up, and the house is on the market. And at night, I'm reliably informed, the husband goes and sleeps somewhere else. So I'm hoping that he's banging Ubla. Why did I just make her Finnish? I don't know. I'm hoping that he's banging some, you know, potato farmer Ukrainian and it's torn the family apart. But forgive me if I'm not sympathetic. Oh, so many things I need to tell you. We need to laugh ourselves. We do. Vlad is the Russian bear. He is. I love him. And they keep making out that he's ill because like his leg's shaking. He's like 70 whatever. He looks pretty good because he's had plastic surgery. Leg shaking. I piss myself on a regular basis and I'm 40 whatever, 7. I think Vlad's doing pretty good, to be honest. Two things I must talk about. One is that I love you. That wasn't a thing, so now there's 3. 2, I'm supposed to be doing questions, and I was watching your videos from Finland the other day. Riikka, it was my favourite Finnish friend, and I mostly loved her because I could say Riikka really loud. I love Finnish names, and I love Finnish people because they have really small little faces and they're so cute. Can I please tell you, I need your help. And I'm not very good at asking for help. Could you tell I'm really awkward already? So, I don't know how squinting is going to help. Just makes me look like I've got some sort of palsy. Here I go. Just ask for help. It's fine to ask for help. I'm going to ask for help. I need your help. I am playing my one-woman show. I don't know what this is either. Does it have to be without a spine? I don't know. In the Gatehouse in Stafford on May the 31st. And I need your help. I'm so uncomfortable with asking for help. If you live in Stafford, I really can't ask for help, can I? If you live in Stafford, please, could you let people know that I'm playing the Gatehouse? I'm checking that I'm saying it correctly. In Stafford on May the 31st. Tickets, I think, £20-something. I don't care. I'm going to give any proceeds there are to the neurology hospital that cured me. There's nothing to do with money. If you know someone in Stafford, if you can get to Stafford, please may I ask you to come. We'll have the best time and it's going to be lovely. But there's a reason I need to ask you to tell your friends and help me. Is because, like Bedford, where one lady had a petition and she got 50 people to sign it, the repeat has happened, and a Conservative borough councillor has written a petition, and I don't really want you to look at it because the stuff that's been put on it, I have to deal with, and I don't believe in litigating. I don't believe in using lawyers. I hate that whole scene. But she's been allowed to, a Conservative councillor has been able to write stuff about me that I don't even recognise half of what she's saying. And now she wants to cancel and she's rallying the mob. But the Gatehouse is holding firm. So if you are able to come to Stafford on the 31st of May, please may you book a ticket. If you know someone in Stafford, please may you tell them that I'll be at the Gatehouse, and if they could come, that would be great. I really want to support the bloody venue now. Or maybe the gentleman is Keith Harrison. Keith.Harrison at freedom_leisure.co.uk. You can just look up the Gatehouse Stafford. If you would be able to send them a message of support, just to say thanks for standing up for Katie, that would be amazing. And yeah, this is very awkward, but I just want them to know that although the noisy people on Facebook are like, she's this, she's that, that people know that that isn't anything like I'm like, that the show is all about trying to make people feel better and get them through this, and that one counsellor who has written really terrible things about me shouldn't get away with getting this cancelled. And BBC Stoke are obviously involved because they love anything that's, you know, that's the thing, is they're supposed to push this stuff against me. But if I may just read you this one paragraph from, this is written, I mean, it's quite emotional for me because because sometimes this fight has been quite long, you know, Anyway, and when someone else stands up with you, it's quite remarkable. This was not planned at all. And now I can't see. I've gone all Meghan Markle, but alone and without the $100 million Netflix contract. Right, Katie Hopkins' show is called Live, Laugh, Love, and is clearly billed as an evening of comedy. It focuses on her basically laughing at herself, a life-threatening illness. You know, I'm basically, you know, me. I'm laughing at myself, my TV career, and my many mistakes. Anyway, we understand that not every show is for everyone. So we hope you will find something else on our programme that is more to your taste and extend the same courtesy to other patrons who do wish to attend. And then they've done that same statement, but it's really super, and they've sent it to the BBC. So I guess I'm overwhelmed because I haven't really talked about this in an honest way before, because I just say, look, this is great and it's all going to be great. But for a venue to stand up and not just back down is really tremendous, and it's really got very little to do with me, and more that if we can push back in some way, we can try and stop what's happening to us. And you'll know that as much as I laugh a lot, I mean what I do. And I am authentically trying to take the arrows in order to fight back for freedom. So I'm sorry I just got upset. I don't know what happened. I think it was being honest and asking for help. And it... Hold on, I'll drink wine. That's much better. Okay, that's much better. What it was, I think, was asking for help. I think sometimes if you do something very honest, it opens up a little door. And lots of stuff that you've been holding in peeks out. And I guess one of my jobs on a daily basis is to keep the door shut so that I can cheerlead from the front and not be this. Let's move on, please, and let's not talk about me, because talking about me is obviously not something I'm very good at, and it causes terrible things to happen like this. I'm very embarrassed for myself. I won't get over this later, May 31st, but with anything, this isn't about me. If you would just say thank you to the Gatehouse at Stafford for me, I would be so grateful. Thank you. You know when you're trying not to cry and you have a really, really, really tight throat, to the point it feels like someone's got wire and they've tied it tight and you're like, ugh. Much more importantly, not me, Skegness. So the reason we missed Katie's Arms last week, okay, I'm good now, is that sometimes you just got to breathe, right? I went to Skegness quietly. I crept up there on the train. I don't know what this is because I didn't do that all the way up. 6.5 hours. And I booked myself a room at the Hatters at Skegness under a different name. And I stayed the night there, and then quietly the next day I went about the place to learn it better and to talk to people quietly and understand what was going on. And then later in the evening, I went into the pub and I met the owners of the Hatters and their team and the people that work the bar and the band, and we had quite the loveliest time. And then the next day I spent doing more of the same, getting about quietly, speaking to locals, finding out what's going on. And in summary, as you'll know, Skegness is being kind of how would you explain it? There's a nasty insect that goes inside the body of its host and lays its eggs, and the eggs hatch inside the other creepy crawly thing. And then when those eggs hatch, the babies are born inside the body of the host. That wasn't possibly the nicest analogy, but what I'm trying to say is, in Skegness, the Home Office are buying out tourist hotels, and they are housing the illegals from the processing centre, Manston Processing Centre, and because they can't have that as a media focus point, they're trying to distribute the illegals, and let's just park any views on illegals right now, but they've distributed them to hotels. And you'll understand the problem with that is that once a tourist hotel is lost, those bookings aren't going to come back in a hurry. And once, Skegness is the top 3, it's number 3 on the top list of destinations. Once you take over 4, it's now 5, and I know where the next 2 will be, you're going to change that place and it won't be a tourist destination. And some of the things we've seen going on, in the sea, in Brighton with young girls and things, you can't help but feel that would be a concern for people who were going to go and stay there and now won't. The Hatters Hotel in Skegness, they held firm. They were offered £10,000 a week to walk away from their hotel, fire their staff, have no worries, have no bills, don't need to fill room, walk away. And they would have been paid £500,000 over the course of the year. Another hotel on the front, the Savoy. I know, I stayed there because it's right next to the migrant hotels, but, and it's called the Savoy, but they are so, so darling. They would have made an extra £300,000 next year if they had just walked away from their hotel now. No bookings, no staff, no cleaners, no bills, no cleaning carpets, no mending windows, nothing. To walk away, and they would have made an extra £300,000 next year, sat on their arse in Antigua. I made that up, just that place, they weren't going there. And they refused the money. And that's why I went to Skegness. I went to thank those hotel owners for having a spine. So I don't know where all this is coming from. I am mortified. I apologise, I think, is what I better say. And please know that I'll be away from here and I'll be like, oh my God, you embarrassing cow. But, I think maybe that's what happens. I'd love to come back to Twitter. I haven't been allowed yet. They're still saying that my account is banned. I have tried a couple times, but they say no. And I don't know whether it's part of an agreement with powerful organisations in the UK, because it was powerful organisations in the UK that had me removed. And I don't know whether that is, so therefore my ban is more rigid in the same way that I'm banned from all media, banned from BBC, banned from Murdoch, banned from... I think there's more of a rigid banning against my name. But if Twitter would let me back on, of course I'll be there. And I'm so grateful when people post my content across to Twitter. So that's it. Please watch a video clip I've posted. Elon will bring you back if we ask. Yeah, we are trying to do that. We all weep for our culture. I think that's it as well. We are carrying a lot and we know what's coming. What is this bit here doing? What is that bit of hair? What is this? Okay, I missed. Thank you. I won't. Thank you for asking Elon to bring me back. And that's, probably how we get there. Or possibly sometime when I'm in America, someone will help me. But for now, if you could do those 2 things, if you don't mind, now that I'm asking for help and not having to cry every time about it, if you could thank the Gatehouse in Stafford or possibly come. God knows how I'm going to cope emotionally with any of these venues that hold. Or if you go to Katie's Arms, www.katiesarms.com, these could do with a bit of bloody effort as well. The dates of venues that are holding are on there. And my dream, my wish, is to sell out those venues, to thank the owners of the venues, but also so that we can be in a room together and watch me just cry essentially at every venue. That's the new show. Katie gets upset by how kind people are. Yeah, it's pretty much the truth of it. So the 6 dates that are holding are on my site. We're never going to quite be Peter Kay, are we? But if we could just sell them out, that would be great. And then I think I better go and pull myself together before my children see me. Because as any mother will know, you can't be seen to be upset in front of your children because... well, that just can't happen because all mothers are always invincible no matter what. So I will pull myself together. You guys will all pretend that this doesn't happen. And maybe we won't post this anywhere. Can I hide away from myself? Probably not. My dogs are very well, thank you. They're sat by the fire that I just built for them, having taken them round the field where it's their favourite field because they chase rabbits. I'm totally controlled by my dogs. It's pathetic. Right, I should have made you laugh more, but I'll be back on my normal form next week. I promise not to ask for help ever again, because clearly I don't have the spine for that. Used to fighting this fight on my own. I will see you all next week. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the kindness. And thank you in particular to the Gatehouse in Stafford for reducing me to this. Okay, see you later.